Are a cafe and coffee shop the same? That's the topic for today's presentation. Hey there, coffee lovers and curious minds. Ever wondered if a cafe and a coffee shop are the same thing? I mean, we've all probably said, let's grab a coffee, without really thinking about where we're going. Cafe, coffee shop, it's all caffeine, right? Well, not quite. It is good to see you here. Welcome to the Design SK Studio channel, where you can learn about design tutorials for better living. Please support this educational channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing. Thank you. Let's dive into this aromatic world and unravel the mystery. By the end of this, you'll have the perfect answer for your next coffee date debate. What is a cafe? All right, so what exactly is a cafe? Picture this. Small round tables, maybe some soft music playing in the background, and a menu that has more than just coffee. You've got pastries, light meals, and maybe even a cheeky glass of wine if the vibe fits. The word café comes from the French word for coffee, café, but don't let that fool you. Cafes are about so much more than just coffee. They're like the cool, older sibling of coffee shops. Cafes are where you can linger. They're social spots where you're just as likely to see someone working on their novel as you are to spot a group of friends catching up. Oh, and don't forget those outdoor seating vibes. Cafes often have that quintessential European flair, inviting you to sit back and watch the world go by. Here are the key features of a cafe. Coffee, tea, and more extensive menu options. Sometimes, depending on the cafe license, it can also offer alcohol. The environment of a cafe has a casual yet sophisticated vibe. A cafe is great for both short visits and long stays. Now let's shift gears to coffee shops. What is a coffee shop? Coffee shops are all about the coffee. People in a coffee shop might mainly think of lattes, cappuccinos, cold brews, and espresso shots. Sure, you might find a muffin or two, but food isn't the star of the show here. Coffee shops are often more utilitarian. They're the spots you hit up for a quick caffeine fix, a takeaway cup, or a quiet place to work. How about the vibe of a coffee shop? It is more casual and straightforward. You're less likely to find full meals or a wine list here. Here are the key features of a coffee shop. A coffee shop focuses on coffee and simple snacks. A coffee shop serves a quick service style. A coffee shop is often smaller and cozier than a cafe. A coffee shop is usually great for grab and go or a place where people focus on work sessions. Now let's discuss about the key similarities between a cafe and a coffee shop. All right, let's talk about where these two overlap. After all, it's easy to see why people get confused. Cafes and coffee shops both revolve around coffee. They're social hubs, community staples, and often a go-to for remote workers or students. First, coffee, of course. Both serve coffee. From your classic black coffee to your fancy latte with extra foam, you'll find it in both. Second, casual atmosphere. Neither is a formal dining experience. Both are places where you can walk in, sit down, and feel at ease. Third, meeting points. Whether it's a quick coffee date or a brainstorming session, they're both perfect spots. Fourth, Wi-Fi hotspots. Let's be real. Wi-Fi is life, and both these spaces understand that. Here are the key differences between a cafe from a coffee shop. The key differences between a cafe from a coffee shop is where things get interesting. While they might seem similar on the surface, the details make all the difference. One menu, cafes, have broad menu with meals, desserts, and sometimes alcohol. Coffee shops, on the other hand, have limited menu, mostly drinks and light snacks. Two, ambience, cafes, are more curated and relaxed with an emphasis on comfort and style. Coffee shops, on the other hand, are more functional and efficient, with a focus on serving coffee lovers quickly. Three, purpose. Cafes are mostly designed for lingering, socializing, and even dining. Coffee shops, on the other hand, are designed for quick visits and coffee-focused experiences. Four, cultural influence. Cafes are heavily influenced by European culture, especially French and Italian. Coffee shops are rooted in a more Americanized coffee culture. After knowing the key similarities and differences between a cafe and a coffee shop, you might ask, which term is more popular between a cafe and a coffee shop? This one's tricky because it depends on where you are in the world. In Europe, the term café is more common. It conjures images of Parisian streets and Italian piazzas. In the US, coffee shop dominates, partly thanks to chains like Starbucks that popularize the term. But popularity isn't just about location. It's also about branding. Café tends to sound more upscale, while coffee shop feels approachable and unpretentious. So, which one's more popular? It's a tie, depending on your vibe and geography. Last but not the least, what are the impacts of cafes and coffee shops on society? Alright, let's get deep for a second. Cafes and coffee shops aren't just places to grab a drink, they're cultural icons. Cafes have a long history of being intellectual hubs. Think of the great thinkers and writers who gathered in cafes to debate and create. Coffee shops, on the other hand, are often seen as community spaces. Coffee shops are inclusive, welcoming, and accessible to all. Coffee shops have become the third place, not home, not work, but somewhere in between. Both cafes and coffee shops have a profound influence on how we connect, work, and relax. Now come to the crucial reason you watch this presentation. How are you going to name your business, cafe or coffee shop? So you're thinking of starting your own business? First of all, congratulations. Second, choosing between cafe and coffee shop is more than just semantics. It's about setting the right expectations for your customers. Go with cafe if you're offering a wide menu. You want to create a relaxed, elegant atmosphere. You're inspired by European culture. Go with coffee shop if your focus is purely on coffee. You're aiming for a quick service, casual vibe. You're keeping it simple and straightforward. What can you learn here? So what's the takeaway? Whether you're a cafe person or a coffee shop loyalist, both spaces have their charm. Cafes offer a more rounded experience with food, drinks, and an atmosphere that's perfect for lingering. Coffee shops, on the other hand, are all about efficiency and getting your caffeine fix just the way you like it. At the end of the day, it's not about which one is better. It's about what you're in the mood for. So the next time you're planning a coffee outing, take a moment to think, cafe or coffee shop? Either way, you're in for a delicious time. Cheers to that. The Design SK Studio channel is the place where you can learn about design tutorials for better living. Please help this channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing the presentations you like. Thank you for watching. Click your notification bell. Thank you.